Hi and good day to you, Ma'am Rachel. I'm Karl Harvey Guzman from BSIT 4A, and today I'm gonna make a video of my midterm project. So we're gonna use Jupyter Notebook. So let's open the Jupyter Notebook. So now we're here in our Jupyter Notebook. We're gonna find the directory of my project. So this is the folder that I created, and this is the project file, Python file. So here we have series of problems that requires to be answered. So first we're gonna begin here. It doesn't mean that it's already included, that it will work already. First we have to run it, so our program will recognize it. So now that we have run it, we're gonna go to the first problem. So first here it says display top 10 rows of the dataset. So we all know that we have to use the method head. So how to do that? We're gonna go type data dot head, then open close parenthesis. So we're gonna run it and see we have some results, but it has a specific count. So it has 10. So we're gonna put here 10 for us to be able to see the first 10 rows of our data sets. So we have Nathaniel, Gary, Albert, Christopher, Patrick, David Kushner, and Joanne. Let's go to the next problem. Find the shape of our data set and include the number of rows, the number of columns. So that's what we're gonna see when we use the shape. So how to do that? We have to type data.shape. It's not a method, it's a attribute of pandas. So next we're gonna type print. So next we're going to run this command. So as you can see, we have 148,654 rows and 13 columns. So next we gonna type print open parenthesis and then the code and then number of rows. Let's make that a capital letter. Number of rows and then data dot shape, then brace, and then 0. So this shape is shape and then brace 0 is equivalent to rows. And then when we want to do that for columns, we're gonna go ahead and type print quote number of columns and then comma and then data dot shape, then brace is equals to 1. Then we're gonna run that code and then see we have the results. So we have number of rows 148,654 and our columns is 13. Let's go ahead to the next problem. Problem number 4 says getting information about our last data set, like total number rows, total number of columns, data types of each column, and the memory requirement. So for us to do that, this is a very simple code. We're going to type data.info open close parenthesis. Then we're going to run it. So here we have the results. As you can see, These are the columns, and then total number of columns and data types. So data types are float, integers, and then objects, and our memory requirement is 14.7 megabytes. So it means that our file is this big. So next, let's go ahead to the next problem. Problem number 5 says check null values in the datasets. So how are we going to do that? To do that, we have to type data dot is null, then open close parenthesis. Let's run it, and then we add our result. So we have a Boolean result, true and false. But we're interested in all the null values in the data set, so we're gonna put here dot sum, and then open close parenthesis. So let's run it, and here we have it. ID, the employee name, has no null values, but the base pay has 609 null values, overtime pay has 4, and the rest of our data set. And even includes the data type, which means integer. So let's go ahead to our next problem. Problem number 6 says drop ID notes, agency, and status columns. So for us to do that, first we need to check our data set. So data dot columns, then we run it. So this is our data sets, right? So next we're going to do is, so we need to drop the ID, we need to drop the notes, the agency, and the status. So it means we're not going to need that. So what we're going to do here is type data is equals to data dot drop, and then open close parenthesis, then bracket, and then the apostrophe. So let's run this. So it says an error, right? Because it's empty. And then what we're gonna do is to input here the data types. So here we have the data types, right? So next what we're gonna do is type data equals sign data dot drop open close parenthesis brace apostrophe, and we're gonna input the columns that we're going to drop inside this. So we're gonna hit copy, and let's paste it here. Let's place some comma after the apostrophe and says notes, right? Notes is over here. So we're gonna put apostrophe in there, and then we're gonna hit comma, and then this is agency. Let's go ahead and copy the comma. Space that inside, and lastly the status. So let's copy that and let's paste it here. So next we have to do is to comma, axis is equals to 1, and then let's run. So now we have dropped this. So for us to see, let's go ahead and type in here our data. But for just to explain, axis equals to 1 is for columns, and axis equals to 0 is for rows. So let's go ahead and type our data, and let's run. So now we see that there are no ID columns, there are no notes no more, there are no agency, and there are no status. So next we can also do is data.head, just to check first row, because that's all we need, because the first row is going to show us all the columns anyway. So here we can also do that. Depends on you. So let's go ahead to the next problem. Number 7, get overall statistics about the data frame. So talking about the data frame, we need to do is to use the describe method. So we're gonna type data.describe and then open close parenthesis, and let's run it. So here we see our results. All the statistics, the cut, the mean, the max, and the percentage. But for us to be able to see everything, what we're gonna do is we're gonna type data.describe, then open close parenthesis, and then we're gonna hit include, and then apostrophe all, and then we're gonna run it. So I see the difference. So now here we included the employee name, the job title, and the base pay, and the overtime pay, and also the null values, and the benefits. So let's go ahead to our next problem. Problem number 8 says find the occurrence of the employee names, the top 5 only. So first, let's look again at our data sets, data.columns, and then let's run it. So here we are. The variable for the employee names is employee name. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to type data, then brace, an apostrophe, and then we put that variable, the employee name, dot value underscore counts, and then open close parenthesis. So here we have the top name so here we have the top name occurrence. So Kevin Lee, we have 13. William, we have 11. So it's in descending order, but we only need to see the top 5s as says to the problem. So we're gonna use the head method. So because the default of the head method is showing 5, we don't need to put 5 inside. We can just run the program, just run the code, and here we have the results of the top 5. So we have Kevin Lee, William Wong, Stephen Lee, Richard Lee, and John Chan. So these are the top 5 occurrence of the employee name. So we're gonna go ahead to our next problem. Problem number 9 says find the number of the unique job titles. So for us to be able to find out again the exact name of that column, we're going to use the data calls. So the column name is exactly job title. So it's called job title. We're going to go ahead and copy that. So what we're gonna do is just like what we did before for the employee name, data, and open close and brace, and hit that. Oh, sorry, we don't have to need that because we copied it already. So next we're going to type and unique, then open close parenthesis. So let's run it. In here we have the number of unique job titles. We have 2,159. So let's go ahead to our next problem. Number 10. Total number of job titles contain the word captain. So let's go again to that columns just to make sure, but we already know that the name is the job title, right? Just for accuracy. So data.columns. So here, this is what we need. So what we're gonna do is to first the length and then data, then brace, then data, and another brace is the apostrophe, the job title, and outside that brace gonna put string contains open parenthesis, open close parenthesis, the word captain. So let's go ahead and copy that, and then let's paste it here, and then let's run it. So we have 411 number of job titles containing the captain title. So we need to find the total, right? So we need to make this case insensitive. So even if it's all uppercase, but it's still the word captain, we're still gonna see it count. But before that, let me show you another way to do it. So here we're going to type data, up close brace, data, then another open close brace, then we put the the job title, job title inside, and then we're gonna put string just like before, contains open close parenthesis, and then captain, and we're gonna put in here dot count and open close parenthesis, and gonna run it. So here we're going to see the results, and this is the result of the count method, but we need to make it a case insensitive, right? So we're gonna go ahead to our first column. So we're gonna go ahead to our first, and we're gonna make a Boolean function. So I'm gonna make a Boolean work here. So what we're gonna put here is comma case is equals to false. So I'm gonna go ahead and make it the case insensitive, and it's gonna run it. So overall we have 552
job titles.
lowercase and uppercase, no matter what, is been counted. So this is the total number of job titles that contains captain. So let's go ahead to our next problem. Problem number 11. Number 11 says display all the employee names from fire department. So how are we going to do that? So let's go ahead and type the data columns to find out the columns that we're gonna need to work with. So we're gonna need the job title again, right? So we're gonna type here data brace data, and then another open close brace, and then the column name, the job title, and then we're gonna put string contains open and close parenthesis, and then apostrophe, and then inside we're gonna put fire. So it automatically search for fire departments, and then case is equals to false, just like what we did to the past problem. So it is case insensitive, and we're going to get the total result. So first we search for the job title, right? So here are the results, but what we really want to know is the employee name. So employee name that is from fire department. So what we're gonna do here is we're going to input open and close brace, and then apostrophe. Then we're gonna copy this and let's paste it here. So let's run it, and here we are. The names that are from the fire department: Patrick, Alson, Michael, Joanne, Arthur, Kenny, and many more. Let's go ahead to our next problem. Problem number 12. So problem number 12 says find the minimum, the maximum, and the average base pay. So this sounds pretty basic. So let's type data columns to find out the names of the columns that we're gonna work with. The exact name. So here we have the base pay. Let's go ahead and copy that. So what we're gonna do is type here data, then open and close brace, then we're gonna base pay, and then describe, then open and close parenthesis and run. So here we are, the maximum, the minimum, the average, base pay. So the average is 66,000, and then the minimum is, and then the maximum. So let's go ahead to our next problem, number 13. So it says here replace the not provided in employee name column to none. So how are we going to do that? So first we're gonna check again in our columns for accuracy, and then let's run it. So these are our columns. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna type data, and open close bracket, and then we're gonna copy employee name, and then let's run it. So as you can see, this is the word that we need to replace. So what you need to do is to put here dot replace, then open close parenthesis, and then apostrophe, and let's paste that the word that we copied, and then gonna put comma, and then we're gonna use the numpy command, that none. So for us to be able to execute this code correctly, we need to import first the numpy. So import numpy as np, and let's run it. And then as you can see now, we have replaced the not provided value as none. But to make it permanent, let's go ahead and copy this. Then let's paste here, and let's put equal sign there. And let's enter. Let's run it. So now it's permanent, and let's see if we did it correctly. Let's remove this, and then let's run this, and there we go. We have replaced the not provided with NaN. So let's go ahead to our 14th problem. Number 14, drop the rows having 5 missing values. So we're gonna have to drop rows that has 5 missing values. How are we going to do that? So let's put data is null, and open close parenthesis, dot sum, and access is equals to 1, and then count is 5. So let's run it, and here we go. We have Boolean results. So here we used the x is 1 for rows as I have mentioned earlier, and 5 missing values. So for me to see it properly, I'm gonna go ahead and type here data, then we're gonna put a bracket in there, another bracket in here. So let's run it, and here we go. As you can see, these are the rows having 5 missing values. So now let's drop it. So I'm gonna go ahead and type data that drop close parenthesis data, and then bracket, then data dot it's null, open close parenthesis, dot sum, open close parenthesis, access is equals to 1, then count equals to 5. Then we're gonna put here dot index, comma, access is equals to 0 for columns, and then in place, put in place here equivalent to true. And let's run it. So now we have dropped those rows, and let's check our program again. Data dot is null, and then dot sum, then access equals to 1, and let's run it. So now we have confirmed that we have dropped the rows having 5 missing values. So let's go ahead to the 15th problem. So we're gonna need to find the job title of Albert Houdini. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna search again the columns of our data sets, then let's run. So we need to get the employee name. The name is Albert Pardini, right? So here what we're gonna do is we're gonna type data, then open close, then the employee name, then let's paste it here. That is equivalent to the name Albert Pardini. So let's go ahead and copy that and run it. So here we have the results, Boolean. So to be able to see it properly, we're gonna go ahead and type data, open close brace, bracket, and then gonna put, and let's run it. And so you see the job title of Albert Pardini is in police department, so he's a captain. So let's go ahead and put the job title here. So job title, open and close brace, and then open and close bracket, and then hit enter. So here the job title of Albert Pardini is Captain 3. Let's go ahead to our next problem, number 16. How much does Albert Pardini make, including the benefits? So how are we going to do that? What we're going to do is we can skip that. We're just gonna have to copy this, and then let's run. So first we see reuse data, then bracket. Let's run it. So here we got the benefits. So he doesn't have any earnings in the benefits. So his total pay is 335 and 279.91. So let's see the total benefits of our employee. Let's see total benefits. And then let's go ahead and run. So the total pay benefits is 335,279, whatever the currency is. So let's go ahead to our next problem, number 17. Display name of the person having the highest base pay. So here we're gonna need that columns to view again. So let's run it. We're going to type here data, then we're gonna get the base pay, right? Because that's what we're looking for. So enter here the base pay, then the max is equals to data, then base pay. Then base pay. So let's enter. Got the Boolean result. So what we're gonna do, just gonna type here data, then close it. So here we got the highest base pay that has been given is 319,275. We need to do is to display his name now. So display employee name, because that's the problem. It should show Gregory. So here we have Mr. Gregory P. Sir, who is the highest basic pay. So number 18, let's find the average base pay of all employees. So this sounds pretty basic. Let's go ahead and copy that. And then let's run it. So, oh, we need the employee, right? So what you're gonna do here is you're gonna type group by, open close parenthesis, the column year. Then we need the mean, right? The mean, which is the average, and then the average of the base pay. So let's go ahead and copy. And let's run. So here we have the average base pay of all the employees per year. So by the year 2011, we have this average base pay. In the year 2012, we got this average base pay, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead to the third last problem. So the problem here is find the average base pay of all employees per job title. So let's go ahead and copy the job title from up here. You don't have to search the columns again because we can still see it. It's still visible. So we're gonna type here data dot columns. Dot group by, and then open close parenthesis, and let's put job title inside. Then let's find the average by the mean method. Then the base pay. So we're gonna go ahead and copy base pay again from above here. So let's hit run. So here we have the average base pay of all employee per job title. So in account clerk, we have here 43,300 for accountant, for account intern, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and answer the second to the last problem. Let's find the average base pay of employee having job title accountant. So we're gonna be needing the employee name again. So let's go ahead and type data.columns. Let's hit enter. So we're gonna need the employee name. So we're gonna type here data, and then inside it we're gonna need data, and then the first we're gonna need the job title. Watch it. So what we're gonna need now is the job title for the accountant, right? So we're gonna click here, gonna copy job title, and we're gonna put here data, open close bracket, and then inside we're gonna put data, and then another open and close bracket. We're gonna put job title inside, and then that equivalent to the title accountant. So let's go ahead and copy this title, job title, and then base pay. So let's put it here, and then of course we need the mean method for the average. So let's go ahead and run this program. So here we have it, the 46,643 base pay for the average base pay for the employee having the job title accountant. So let's go ahead to the last problem. Let's find the top 5 most common jobs. So when you see the top 5, already comes up in my head is the head method. So let's go ahead and type data, open close parenthesis. We're gonna need the job title. I'm sorry, open and close bracket. Then we're gonna put here value underscore counts. So let's see, enter any results. So this is the counts, right? So these are the common jobs, but we only need 5. So we're gonna use the, as I mentioned before, the head method by pressing dot head and open close parenthesis. We don't have to include 5 because 5 rows is the format or the default of the head method. So here we have the 5 top most common jobs. So that's it for my midterm project. Thank you.